This is how you're going to start it out, huh?
Every time.
God. All right, fine. So, hey, folks, this week.
Hi there.
We talk with a good friend about a man who has made more or been in. I don't want to say he's made movies.
No, he's been in.
Has been in. It was over 400. I can't remember the exact number, but it was over 400 that you pulled up.
He's been killed over 100 times.
Yeah. Sometimes spectacularly. Sometimes, you know, I mean, I guess it depends on how big the role was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a tribute to someone that we felt needs to have a tribute.
Right.
And apparently there had been some things, but I think there were just things about him. I don't think did everyone say like tribute?
No.
See? So you know what? We're doing a tribute because this guy's cool. He's fun as hell to watch. And he has an even more interesting life that needs to be read about. That's right. There's a book about this guy.
Oh, yeah.
By this guy.
And they call that an autobiography.
Yes. And those are usually the best.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think they're I don't know if I would say that as a rule they're the most honest, but I think they're always the best to read.
Yeah, they're not really the most honest. I'll agree. But there are some out there over past, several decades that the people doing them, they have been brutally honest in putting themselves out there. And those are like the best reads ever.
Yeah.
Genuine, but then you can also tell the folks who kind of fudge it.
Yeah.
We'll just skip over that. And that's not very cool.
No.
And then people who write books about other people, I don't even know. I mean, if it's working with that person, usually there's a bit more truth to it. A lot of times. Anyway, we're not here to talk about books.
Well, no.
Get this one book by this guy, and we talk about it. You know who it is. You read the title. And you know how to find his autobiography, because coincidentally, when someone does an autobiography, if you look them up, like in the card catalog, that's the winds of the past creeping in.
What's a card catafrog?
That's a whole separate episode that we just can't do on this show. We could actually have a whole podcast on that. Card catalog, episode 741.
No.
There's so many things about the card catalog. Anyway, if you look somebody up by their name in a card catalog or other author search, their book about themselves will come up. Science. Or is it magic? I don't know.
Both.
Anyway, we discussed this wonderful friend, or our wonderful person with our friend, Miles Trout. It's not really a secret. And he's so much fun to talk movies with. We've been on his show several times, and this is the first time he's on with us. And I mean, he just is so fun.
There's no one else out there that we've talked to that's like as obsessed with film as Miles is. And
I know Alex Cox is really but he's into like a lot of classic stuff, especially Kurosawa, and then just Westerns and things. So that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, as far as just like a cinephile, like just fucking love movies for a million different reasons.
Yeah.
Good, bad, A, B, non-rated categorized films. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with him. And as per usual, there was a lot of talk after.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of ideas that probably are best that didn't come up. We don't need people creeping on us for it. But, hey, there may be some things down the road.
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be awesome. God bless Zoom.
Well.
Yeah.
Should we jump right in?
I think we could. Is there anything else we need to preface?
We found a bunch of junk metal detecting.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we just cleaned our metal detectors. And
among interesting items found, we don't have to like go
we're not
on and
gonna
on
go
about
into
this,
it,
but
no.
an insulin vial.
Yeah, that was that has capped the list on most interesting find, period.
Yeah.
But you pulled that one out. I just got coins and slaw.
An ancient Bic lighter.
Yeah. That bad boy is at least from the mid-'80s.
Yeah. And someone's lost house key.
Yep, I found a house key, to which our daughter immediately replied, let's go check all the nearby houses.
So that's what we're off to do.
Yeah.
Listen to the show.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Hey there, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Danny.
And this is Jim.
And we have a special guest on today's show. It's Miles from the Discdump.
Hello.
Yeah. And
Hey,
other
Miles.
podcasts. What other podcasts are you on?
I have a silly one that I do that it's called High on Horror. And it's a real good time. We talk about horror movies and all that good stuff. And I do the Disc Dump, where we're trying to evaluate my physical media and decide if it's worth keeping in a digital era. And I'm doing a D&D one that my group fell apart, so we're rebuilding from scratch, called Toast of the Realms.
All right.
You're bringing Toast back?
I'm trying to bring Toast back. We just recorded a second episode, so it's getting going.
That's super cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll have some links to these. The HOH on Instagram is always fun. See, scroll up. You know. Yeah, the whole Instagram thing. I try to like everything that I see, but it's gotten so convoluted. I almost never see people that are actually supposed to be in my feed. It's always full of suggestions. And if I turn off the suggestions, it's like nothing happens. So I don't know what their game is.
Those
But-
damn kids and their social medias.
Right? But
They're talking ticks or whatever they do.
for people who are not longtime listeners, because we've mentioned Miles on our podcast, I don't even know how many times, like a bunch of times.
So many times.
But we've been on Miles's show, The Disc Dump, a couple of times talking about some cool movies and some weird movies, and sometimes both. And we've been trying to figure out a time and what to do to bring Miles onto our show. And so we finally figured out what to do, because we're all big fans of the man, Danny Trejo.
Yes. And
Man,
we
the
were,
myth, the legend.
you
Yeah.
know it. We were last on Miles' show doing, covering Machete.
Machete.
With Mr. Trejo in his title role. And that was a lot of fun.
I dare say I may drop it one of these days.
All right.
Haven't been the best about posting, but before this one comes out, I promise it'll be out.
Awesome.
Sweet. So, yeah, Danny Trejo, we want to do a tribute to him because he is so much fun. We have seen him in so many films, doing so many different things. He is one of those people that you see his persona, the roles that he was put in, originally, chosen for his rugged looks, his rugged demeanor.
His dangerous looks.
Yeah. But then he ends up on kid shows and he just does all these things. So we want to, give a tribute to, clearly, like Bruce Campbell is like the king of B movies, right? He's held that title for a long time. And I dare say, I think Danny is either like hot on his heels or maybe
I
even
think Danny's
surpassed him at
actually
this point.
surpassed him, because Danny's certainly been in more films.
Yeah. And
Quantity wise.
involved, in different levels.
Yeah.
And I know Bruce gets involved at different levels, but yeah, I think the sun has set on Mr. Campbell, and we're gonna talk about the rise of the new king.
Don't tell Bruce Campbell that. He thinks
No.
he's in his prime right now.
He
I
does.
know. Well,
He's like, I was in Doctor Strange. What are you talking about?
he signed one of our scripts, so
He
there'll
did.
always
really?
be. Yeah, he was in Madison on one of the first Comic Con. that we went to. The first one they had here that was of any real note.
And we brought him our script, and what he said was, "Am I in this?"
Well, do you want to be?
He said, "Well, call my people if you get the money together to make this."
So he signed it for us. We framed it and stuck it on the wall. Yeah.
Very cool.
So
would he be your leading guy in that movie?
No.
We actually, after he signed it, we wrote in a part specifically for him. But the guy gets killed in the movie.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Like pretty brutally.
But we did set it up in such a way that if Bruce if we could ever afford his daily rate to bring him in, it would be totally in his wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to get too deep into that. Shh. Okay. In case Bruce listens.
I don't think
I'll have to edit that out. I know. I'm not worried about that. All right. So let's do some talking about Danny Trejo. Let's go around the room and let's talk about either the first time you saw him or, the most memorable, like, bam, either you recognize him as I know that guy from such and such, or, ooh, who's this? I like this guy. And, or just a favorite film, even if it's later. Who wants to go first? How about Miles? You're the guest.
I'm going through his IMDb right now, and it's upsetting how many things he's in that I absolutely love. Like, there's just so many things that I love. Like, my favorite video game is Fallout New Vegas, and I'm just now realizing that he's a character in that, which is amazing. My other favorite video game is called Def Jam Fight for New York, where a bunch of rappers fight each other, and for some reason, Danny Trejo is in it as himself, and that's an awesome game.
That's awesome.
My favorite TV show is Breaking Bad. He's in 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. Like, it never ends. Everything he's in, he's amazing.
I think that's fair.
Spy Kids, where he first became Machete. There's just so many good ones.
I like it. You see, if you're looking in the actor, there's like 1 billion that are announced in pre-production. It's wild. He's got so much stuff on here.
It's crazy. Like, I'm just scrolling and I'm now in 2011. Like, there's just so many. What about you, Danny? What are some of your favorites on here?
Okay, well, I'm sure I saw him before he was in Spy Kids, but the first one I remember seeing him in, like, distinctly, was Spy Kids as Uncle Machete. Yes. And he stole the show for that film for me. Just because
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, like, Spy Kids came out and I was like a little old for it, but it was still a fun film. And then he came on screen and I was like, this guy's awesome. They should make a whole movie about him. And then they did later on.
Kids.
Right.
Yes, a great kids movie.
Yeah,
Machete.
It is. Oh, he was in Con Air. Oh my God. He's been in so many things.
What made it stick out?
Well, it's like that movie is so silly, right? And you had can't remember what his name is, the guy who plays the weird TV show dude on Spy Kids, and he's been in 100 other things. But the movie was so goofy, and then Danny Trejo came on, and he was like this just hard looking, and badass guy on it, and he felt like the only serious part of the film.
It's funny. I mean, everyone always worries about getting typecast, right? And when you're Danny Trejo, that could have been super easy. And in the beginning, he was the background because there's one thing, doesn't matter whether you can act or not. There's one thing you can't bullshit on, and that's how you look when you walk in the door. And even like in his best, he's just got that face that says, yeah, I've been there. You better fucking believe it. And it commands respect. Doesn't even need charisma. You're just like, oh, there's an hour of an unpleasant situation if I'm not careful,
It's the mustache and the puffy eyes. That's what does it.
It is.
Yeah.
The chest tattoo.
For me, it was Michael Mann's Heat, 1995. with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, a few others, Michael Sizemore. The one thing that I loved about it, I didn't know it at the time, but afterwards, because he plays, it's a small part, plays part of De Niro's thug crew, or high-end criminals, can't call them thugs. And he's the getaway driver and the communications coordinator. You know, they do all these high-level things. And he actually plays the character Trejo. That's his name.
Of course he does.
He's got, I think, 2 small lines of 4 words or less. And then he has an awesome death scene towards the end. And I don't know, I was just like, I know that guy from somewhere. I couldn't place it. I still can't, like where I was, bringing him in from. But I don't know. He was just so laid back. Everyone else is like acting, putting it out there. De Niro's being De Niro, Val Kilmer standing in the background and trying to like get through the day. Everybody else. And Danny Trejo, I mean, he's just standing there. And I remember thinking, why isn't he in charge?
Right.
He just, yeah. So yeah, that was it. And then after that, everything, I'm like, oh, it's Trejo, it's Trejo, it's Trejo. And then it hit me later on that, how funny it was that I'm saying that. I was like, oh, it's because it's the last name in the character's name. Swish.
Awesome.
I'm surprised he's not in El Mariachi. Like, I really thought he was in that, but he's in Desperado. So, I mean, it's very similar program. Isn't Desperado a sequel to El Mariachi, or am I wrong on that? Probably wrong on it. Anyway, yeah, like Danny Trejo is just everything he's in. I wonder how many credits on here his name is Trejo, because it seems to be quite a few.
Well, I don't know. I always wondered, did they name the character that specifically, or did they switch it because they got him on board, or did it just work out that way? Because it did at first make me think back to the days of Tony Danza. And, he rose to fame in the 70s sitcom Taxi. And then Who's the Boss? But every part he's ever played in any movie, the character's name is Tony. And I always wondered, is it because if you don't call him Tony, no matter how hard you try, he won't respond? Like the character's name is Alan. Okay, action. Alan, what do you think? And he'll just sit there like nobody's talking to me.
Maybe.
I don't think that's the case with Danny, though.
Well, I mean, it isn't in the book. So when he started acting, he was already sober and out of prison, and he was working with people on helping them get sober. And he had this string of methadone clinics in LA where he was helping people. And he met a kid who was struggling with cocaine and who was in one of the groups. And the kid mentioned that he got like $50 a day working as a background actor. And Danny was like, hey, that sounds like pretty easy money. So he went and started working as a background actor. And when he started to get a little more well-known, like he was getting roles left and right as kind of like, small characters and stuff that paid a lot more than background acting. And so he was like really into it. But his partner, who helped him run the string of methadone clinics, said that him getting more well-known as a film actor would kind of help awareness with their mission of helping people get sober. And so I wonder if like the roles where his name is just Trejo is because like maybe they didn't have a name set for the character and he was like, well, just have it be Trejo. I don't know.
Could very well be.
A little more, getting more well known, I guess. That's not in the book. That's just me wondering.
He's such a wholesome dude, though. Like, considering he looks like a grizzled, hard ass murder man, he is like, his whole thing is that he's trying to help people. He's like, if ever I'm playing a bad guy in a movie, I not only need to die, but I need to die a horrible death because I don't want my grandkids to think that it's a good idea to be a bad guy.
Yeah, no heroism.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that brings up a good segue into the character of this man regarding the parts that he plays, because he's been all over the spectrum. I think my favorite to date is still Madness in the Method, Jason Mewes' film, where where Danny plays himself. They end up going over to his house for a party, and there is something so precious about seeing him stroll around with that giant pink boa and not overplaying anything, just being him, you know. I don't know. I just, the people, the back, everything that they set up, I figured in my head, I don't know if they actually had to like stage this, or just Danny called some people over and say, hey, you want to be in the background? And that's actually what it's like hanging at his house. You know what I mean?
He knows everyone. He's super well connected.
Oh, yeah. And you can't do that by, being a Hollywood prick.
No.
You just can't. I mean, you can get into the Pricks Club, but that's, small and limited. We won't talk about them. But
I was going to say, I don't know what the Pricks Club is, but
the Pricks Club, it's basically, it's like high school all over again, right? It's the elite clique, they think their shit doesn't stink and they're better than everybody else. And, things work out for them in their tiny little world. But then anytime any of the larger world tries to get in, or they try to get in on it, it just goes poorly. They got nothing good to say about people. They treat people like shit, Yeah, it's just
seem like
pretty
cool dudes.
Well, that's Hollywood. They've got, it's like a giant high school, only they have way more money and a little bit more power. But yeah, that's kind of it.
He was on King of the Hill? Shut up.
I know. You can be a fan of somebody, and with someone like Danny Trejo, to get into the minutia of it is just so surprising. It's incredible.
So, what's next on our list? Do we have?
Well, what makes him a favorite? And we can just, for us, I mean, what when you see Danny Trejo on the screen, we'll go with you, Miles. What does it make you feel? And when you see a movie with him listed in it, and then you go to watch it, I mean, what are you looking for? What are you expecting? It's like any comedy fan sees their favorite comedian in a comedy. They have an expectation of how it's going to make them feel, and they're, all psyched up to engage. And what does Danny Trejo do for you?
Well, I think for a person who is absolutely typecast, he also has a pretty wild range of movies that he's in and TV shows. He's in everything, obviously. I've just been writing down everything that I've even I remember seeing him in. But at this point, I think what I want out of him is camp. At this point, that's what it is. So he's in Machete. He's in a movie called Badass, which is based on a viral video of a bus driver that beats up a thug.
Yes.
You just expect him to be stone-faced and just delivering lines so what's the word I'm looking for? Deadpan. Everything is just Machete don't text. Stuff like that. It's great. But he also has touching roles where he's in the movie Halloween, the Rob Zombie one. He's just the nicest dude in the world. And when Michael Myers is killing him, he's just I was good to you, Mikey. And it just breaks your heart to watch him murder Danny Trejo brutally. And he's just everything that he's in. He is a different character, even though the whole point is that he's a guy who looks like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it 100%.
I like his earnestness and his realness that he brings to every role that he plays. He always stands out, and it's not necessarily because of the way he looks. It's because of the way he just holds himself and the way that he does the role. And also the way that the other actors are around him, which is really interesting to me. Every time he's on screen, it's like every time he's on screen, you can almost see like all the other actors just kind of deferring to him. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's we see it sometimes, that off-screen chemistry. And I think everyone looks really good in a scene with Danny Trejo, because I mean, that's my thing about him. I love his presence on screen. I love how he isn't tied to the look that he brings, right? Like you said in Halloween, right? He's not like a thug orderly, right? He's just a guy. I mean, but he looks like, well, before he got this job, he's certainly been around the block a few times, and, you know, he's settled. His demeanor, I have never heard anybody say a bad thing about him in a public interaction. In fact, I remember reading once that he walked up, he was out walking, and there was one of those like Karen moment things going on, between other people. And he just like, you know, hey, is this really worth it? You know, can we just chill? He settled it down. Everyone went their own way. And with so many people in Hollywood having such bad public persona problems, you know, the who they are. I mean, that's what everyone's writing about. But not Danny. He's just like, everyone's like, oh my God, I met Danny Trejo in this, and he actually sat and talked to me, or I saw him go over and do this, and, you know, sat and talked with these little kids, and, you know, came into a restaurant, and, you know, he just is really cool. And that really plays in him being on screen. I think that gives a really good relationship because he's genuine. He's one of those genuine people. And we've had that discussion about several other people who we need that in the world in general. I think he's just like a force for good. But I think my biggest thing about him is he is the ultimate Act 2 representative.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he came from the shittiest start you could get, and literally said, nope, do-over, and never went back. You know, stayed out of crime, which is not an easy thing to do when you're from that, you know. And he's just really, you know, elevated himself and stuck to it and been true. And like you said, helping people constantly. You know.
That is, that's one of the themes that like reoccurs in his book over and over again. He tells all these kind of anecdotes, stories about stuff that happened to him. And every story he tells, he's like, everything good that's ever happened to me has happened because I was helping somebody. Like when he got his first speaking role in a film, it's because he went to the set to help a kid who was struggling. And
as like a sponsor kind of
right.
thing. Yeah.
And just like everything good that's ever happened has been because he helped somebody. And so that's his big life philosophy, is that if I help people, then my life is going to be better for it. Not because I'll get something from it, right? But, you know, in his experience, since he started doing that, the more that he puts out, like the more good he puts out into the world, the more good comes back on him.
That's a really good representation of karmic living.
Yeah.
You don't see it a lot, to be honest. Like a lot of people are like,
right.
I'm going to be a nice guy, end up working at the DMV where the world just poops on them all day and every day.
Right.
But this guy's like, no, I'm really helping people, and going that far out of his way to do it. Like it shows that he's just a good dude. And he sells tacos.
Yeah.
Tacos are delicious. Everyone loves tacos.
Tacos are the best.
Well, and he's always made it a point to not let past, you know, who you were and what you did isn't important. Who you are right now and what you're doing right now and what you're going to do tomorrow, that's all that matters. And he has like lived that for himself, but he's helped so many people out of that realm of life by saying, you know, I don't give a shit. Don't need to explain, you know, whether or not you're on paper, whether or not you know, how long you've been in, where you've been and what for. Thing is, can you show up today at 3:00 and can you do that job over there? You're hired. Bam. You know?
Yeah.
and pushes for people to try and, get their head out of that bucket of, this is my life, this is my world. No, it isn't. It's what you make of it. And it's hard as hell sometimes, because he didn't like walk out and like, I'm going to do good. And then like, la, the Pixie Fairies showed up and just like with their magic wands, here's your path, Danny. He put it in. And that's what he stresses to people is, sometimes it will get worse before it gets better. But, when you've got Danny Trejo giving you his phone number saying, if you need me, call me. How can you not wake up every day like, I'm going to kick today's ass?
I would cry if Danny Trejo gave me his number. I'm going to text you all the time. I promise it'll be not as obnoxious as it sounds, but I promise. I love you.
That would be the best chance to look him straight in the eye and go, oh, Danny, you don't know what you've just done.
You've just made a terrible mistake.
Speaking of helping people, some of the movies he does is all about helping people too. Have you ever seen the movie Sherry Baby?
I have not.
No.
That movie is Maggie Gyllenhaal is the main character. She gets out of jail and it's all about how life is keeping her down and she can't seem to keep herself straight. And someone else who's in like the NA program is Danny Trejo. And they kind of start this little relationship. And she's overdosing at one point and he's just like, you've got to stop this. Like, this is not acceptable. And he like nurses her back to health and stuff. He's not even the main character by any stretch, but his whole role in it is to be like the beacon of hope and the voice of reason. And he's like also rides motorcycles and is holding guns and stuff. And he's a badass, but he's just like, no, but like there's more to life than just sitting down here in the filth where you came from. And I don't know, I feel like that was why he accepted that role, is because it was really a direct representation of the kind of person who he is.
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely. And, when you want to make it in Hollywood, man, you got to take the roles. You got to make
and he never says no.
Well, and that's what I love about him. He'll do an indie film. He'll show up on an A-lister set, either one, right? It's just, you can tell he loves it. And he talks a lot about how he loves it, Well, and I think there's a few people that we've heard from that are like, I wake up, Joel State is one of them. It's like, I wake up every day having to come to grips with the fact that I literally just do wild ass make believe and get a paycheck for it.
Yeah.
What a gig. What a gig.
Oh, man.
I'm good at pretending better than you, so I'm going to work for it.
I get paid for it. Well, that was one of the things he said when he was like a background actor in his book. He heard a bunch of, extras and background actors complaining that like they didn't get steak for lunch or something stupid like that. And he was like, we get these 3 meals a day, plus we get paid for the day. Plus there's a craft services table that's always open. What the fuck are you complaining about, dude?
Well, yeah, I mean, what did you have something better you gave up for this? I mean, you're mostly sitting in a fucking chair waiting for them to yell action because they'll run for like 3 minutes and then it's 4 fucking hours as they reset.
Well,
where do you have to be?
He was like, what other job do you have that you get paid to sit around all day and do nothing and you get free food all day?
And then when it is time to work, you may be sitting still, depending on the scene. You just have to look like, maybe.
Like cashiers aren't allowed to sit down. Like,
right?
They're working harder than we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Quick Trip and see how relaxed it is there.
Right.
Hell, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
God,
so
that was. Go ahead.
In the early 2000s, there was a string of like action B movies that really stood out, and I feel like he's in all of them. But the 2 I wrote down here are Sushi Girl and The Killing Jar. Have you seen either of those movies?
We've seen Sushi Girl.
Yes.
Killing Jar. See, here's the thing, and it's not like, oh, you guys are getting old. We've seen so many movies, we just can't keep the repository of titles. Let me see. Oh, man.
The Killing Jar is Michael Madsen's a bad guy that he's kind of got some screws loose, and he goes into this diner that's a trailer, and he closes it up and he's like, "You're all going to tell me your sins." And he's like slowly killing people off one by one.
Yes.
And Danny Trejo is just one of the guys. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yep. I love Michael Madsen too. Just want to put that out there. I love seeing him in stuff.
He is the dichotomy of Danny Trejo in that he also says yes to everything, but no one has anything nice to say about him at all.
No. And, yeah.
But Danny Trejo's the bomb. Every time he's in a movie, he's like either a really, really good guy or a really, really bad guy. Like the movie Predators, he's like the first one to go. He's usually the first one to go, let's be honest. And he in that movie, he's like, they take the greatest warriors of the world, and he's in there, and he just is like a cartel guy. And he doesn't stand a chance. He gets like decapitated, and they use his vocal cords to like lure people into him. It's crazy. And he's just like, if I'm a bad guy, make it a terrible, terrible death. He gets decapitated all the time. He's decapitated in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I think he's been killed more than like almost anyone.
Probably. I mean, there's very few where he, so like I said, he died in Heat. And it was an on-screen death, but what happened was a rival group got a hold of him to get some information out of him. So when De Niro walks in, because they think he betrayed them on this bank robbery that went bad, only to find out he's laying on the floor, can't move. His face is puffed up like a pillow. And he's just, and then the last thing is like, Neil, don't leave me like this. My wife's dead. I can't feel my legs. And then De Niro stands up and shoots him in the head.
Because it's the nice thing to do.
Yeah. It's like, wow, if you do live, this is going to suck so bad.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But he does comedy too. He was in a whole bunch of episodes of Tim and Eric's Awesome Show. Not my favorite show, but he's funny.
He was on Ron Burgundy. He was in Bubble Boy.
Oh, God, Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy. That movie's so dumb.
Oh, man.
And he's in kids movies, Spy Kids and stuff. I feel like that's one of his like real breakout roles. He was Uncle Machete, which we talked about a little bit. And he does he's in Scooby-Doo, and he's in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he does voices for all kinds of kids shows. He did Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a wholesome dude. Though something that came out apparently he was in, I didn't see. He's in a bunch of Muppet movies. Holy
yes. I'm going to put the call out. I would love to see Danny Trejo show up as a major Marvel character in an upcoming film.
Oh, man.
And not a bad guy.
No, he needs to be a superhero.
Yeah. I would love to see him in something. I don't know what. I mean, I could think of a few things. Well, probably no. First characters that come to mind, Marvel has pushed them into the graveyard of.
Oh, because they're extremely problematic.
They're extremely problematic. And they're the most racially insensitive representations. Like X-Men, right? Apache Warrior. Can you imagine? Yeah. Do you know where we're going?
Problematic.
And DC had the same thing, Apache Chief. And, he was even in a cartoon at one point. He just yells, Apache Chief, and he grows to be like a giant. And then he kicks shit around, and then he comes back to, it's funny too, because we were playing Mortal Kombat last night, messing around. Mm-hmm. And the character on 11, Nightwolf.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like the most useless
make it
character in this franchise, and this is so badly done because it really should be eked out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is so bad. There's so much stereotype going on here. Do they even know what they've done? He's
such a badass in that game, though. He fucks people up real good. He's fast and strong. Don't get me started on video games. He apparently did a TV miniseries called Danny's Diary. Have you guys seen this?
I have not, but I saw it and I was like, "Oh, we gotta watch this." I mean,
Yeah.
we could do a whole podcast just watching Danny Trejo movies.
God, yeah, you could do like you could easily do a solid year of weekly or even twice weekly live streams, watch parties, and not even like scratch the surface. This man has enough material here to keep. You could have a Danny Trejo podcast.
Yeah.
There's enough here to keep you going for at least your 500th episode.
You know what? By episode 500, you have Danny Trejo on because he will definitely have heard it by then.
For sure. Oh my
absolutely.
gosh. This is our master plan now, you guys.
Yes,
Miles.
let's do it.
Miles, let's do another podcast. How many?
I'm in. 4. I think this is 4 for me. Let's make it happen. Danny's Diary is on Nickelodeon, and it is an Animal Crossing property. So that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. Huh.
And Shannon
Reno-
Woodward is okay. All right. Anyway,
Reno 911. Did they bring that back? Why is that 2020?
they made a movie.
Did you ever see Zombie Hunter?
Zombie Hunter. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's a great one.
So yeah, I mean, things like Machete are not his first like primal role, you know, or the only one. There's so many. Zombie Hunter was interesting. Oh shit! What? I didn't see it pop up. Maybe I went past it too quick. We have those movies queued up with him, Danny Glover, I think.
Isn't it like Badasses?
Badasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's that bus driver one. That whole series. He's in every Dusk Till Dawn property. Every single one. He's in the TV show. He's even in like the third straight to VHS one. He's in all of them.
Now, for me, one of his latest appearances was as the Rancor Keeper on Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I saw him and I was like, Danny!
I know. And afterwards, I had to I looked at Danny and I said, so I just need to express this. This night, Star Wars. So I'm one of the original fans. My whole life, I've loved that franchise. Well, except for some of the movies. But anyway, you know, into it. And then to have this mythic convergence of Star Wars and Danny Trejo come together. I don't know what more life has to offer for me, but I'm satisfied as of this moment. It was just beautiful.
We have peaked as a society officially.
Yes.
Danny Trejo on the Rancor.
I'm like, maybe we should stop writing scripts and all that, because I don't think entertainment could beat this moment. We're just pedaling in the wake, people. But I felt like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of weird. Maybe you guys will understand. But I felt like, God damn, finally, dude, Trejo earned this. He earned this little cameo spot because it is, you know, it's a 40 plus year franchise. It is worldwide. It is expanded into so many things. And it's kind of like the Golden Palace to get in. I mean, look how many people did unnamed cameos in The Last Jedi and stuff. You know, I want to be the unnamed stormtrooper. I want to be this. I want to be done up in makeup. I just want to be on the set. You know, Kevin Smith broke down into tears walking inside the set of the Millennium Falcon. You know, it's such a huge thing. And then here's Danny Trejo. It's like, yeah, so much respect, man. Welcome.
I don't think it's lost on anybody in Hollywood that he's a treasure.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think everyone knows.
He is. I mean,
there's a show called What Would Trejo Do?
We got to find it.
It's not that old, 2017.
Wow. See, and now here's a guy, I bet if you met him, like say we went to LA, right? We're out walking and we just saw him sitting on a bench or something, sat down, started talking to him. You know, he would, unless he was actually busy, because then you're just being a rude dick when you interrupt people because they're a celebrity. But if we just like sat down and say, hey man, how's it going? You know, love your stuff, this and that. and just have some rapping going on, you know that if you said, all right, look, here's the thing. We have a little window. How would you feel about doing this little thing? And if he had the time, because, you know, now he's in that realm of you got to schedule shit, which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, you know, he would be down for it. He has.
If you're filming a movie down the street and you're like, there's Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
You want to be in the movie? He'll be like, go buy a taco. Then sure, let's do it.
Well, it's really, so there's one of the stories he tells in his books is when he was, you know, first getting into acting. He was sober. He was getting his, you know, stuff together, and he was doing this acting thing that seemed fun, but not super lucrative. Right. And the methadone clinics didn't really make him any money. They were, you know, run by like funding and grants and everything. And they're not meant to make money. Right. So he's on set and it's like late, almost toward the end of the day. And he sees this like kid, this early 20s kid, step out of a car with a suitcase. He said in those days, at the end of the day, for the backgrounds and extras and whoever, they would get paid in cash. So this kid had a suitcase full of cash, and he was handing stuff out, you know, to the backgrounds and stuff. And Danny just happened to see him step out of the car with this suitcase. So he said the next day he went out at the same time for a cigarette to see if this kid's schedule was regular. Right. So he's out having a cigarette, and sure enough, this kid pulls up at the same time, suitcase full of money. And Danny said, my friend came up to me, his friend who got him the acting job on that film, and said, hey, Danny, if you don't fuck this up and keep going, you're going to make way more money than what's in that suitcase. And Danny was like, yeah, you're probably right.
I asked Alexa about him today. I was like, Alexa, who is Danny Trejo? And she said that he got his start by accidentally being cast as a boxer in the movie Boxer.
Yes.
Yeah, you were just telling me about that part. If that's in the book, regale us.
So
some Trejo facts.
Yeah, that was the one where he had gone onto the set to help this kid who called him. He said he didn't remember who the kid was. But this kid was like, I'm here. There's a bunch of people with cocaine. So he took an address. He said he'd given his number out to so many people that he didn't even know who this kid was. But he took the address and he was going to go, find the kid and get him out of there. And he stepped onto the set, and the guy who adapted the screenplay was someone that he served in prison with. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy sees him come onto the set and is like, Danny, what's up? So they start chatting. And so his friend offers him a part as an extra in this movie. And Danny's like, oh, sure, it pays $80 instead of $50 for a background. Danny's like, awesome. And then the director comes up and does the whole, like the director kind of looking at him move, right? With the fingers, making a little box.
The frame.
The frame.
Mm-hmm.
And realizes that Danny, just by looks, contrasts really well with the other guy who is like starring in the movie, right? And the fight that they had set up, the guy they had hired as an actor to fight him in the big boxing match looked too similar to their, main dude. So the director's looking at Danny Trejo going, yeah, he'll contrast really nicely. That'll make a good fight. And so they hired him to do that. Plus he had, he knows how to box. He was a champion boxer in San Quentin prison.
Well, and you went on to say that the director had to work with him because, everything.
The fight choreographer had to work with him.
Oh, yeah. Because everything in film cannot be, it's not how it happens in real life because it just doesn't play for the camera, real life. So
like real life boxing moves.
Like, a jab. Whoop. Well, you got to come out. And if you were in the ring in real life, you'd get your ass handed to you in a second. But you got to, exaggerate it, bring it out so the camera can catch it and the audience can be like, oh. you know.
Haymakers all the time.
Yeah.
Movie's called Runaway Train. I called it The Boxer. That isn't correct. Runaway Train.
I know what one you're talking about. But
yes, that's the one where he gets cast as the boxer.
But he did say he never found that kid. He thought he left before he got there. But the fact that he was going to help that kid ended up getting him that role.
That's always fun. I'm sorry. I went to go help this kid who was having a drug problem and he was going to fall off the wagon and stuff. And all this shit happened at the end of a story to sum it up with.
I never did
find that kid.
Dude, that poor boxer actor, though, that Danny Trejo replaced,
yeah.
That guy must hate him. He's like, look at this guy's career. That was supposed to be my career.
That could have been me. Oh, man. That's how this shit works, though, which makes, I think Danny Trejo, not just, an example of a guy who just really turned it around, good-hearted, doing all this stuff, but representative of this industry, that it doesn't matter what you can do, who you know, what's going on. It's moments. It's always luck. It's time and place, right? What if he did find that kid straight off?
Right.
Never would have saw his the writer.
Yeah.
Okay. His fellow inmate. Gone. Now, who's to say? Would there be something in his fate, in his deck of cards, that the next thing to come up might have put him the same way? Or would that have been it? Because we know plenty of people who, have walked the walk and talked the talk and nothing's happening for them. And then there are people who are like, yeah, I took some acting classes and I did a couple of commercial auditions and then I just stopped doing it. And then 3 years later, some guy comes in, while I'm waiting tables. And then, a week later, I'm in a fucking movie with a $400,000 check. Well, oh, okay. Whatever, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, this man has nothing to complain about. And I was surprised. I asked Alexa how much he was worth. She said $8 million. And I'm like, this dude must give back millions of dollars to society if he's only worth $8 million.
Right?
Yeah, I believe he does. I haven't finished the book, but I suspect, he's in the book. He's just kind of now getting more roles and stuff. And he's into his, I think, third or fourth failed marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That took him a long time to, he said his like inherited machismo and attitude about women was probably the thing that it took him the longest to get over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they're,
so
literally.
He wasn't a very good husband to any of his wives.
Right. And he's been open about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, literally paying for mistakes from the past in those situations. But
I think he puts a lot of money back into the community and, his sobriety clinics and stuff like that. Well,
and a lot of these films, he's not getting top rate. He does a lot of indie films. He does Jason Mewes.
Danny's first son, also named Danny, is an indie film director.
Yes.
And he's been in a lot of his son's films.
And I think that's cool. I think that's super cool. Oh.
I'm still thinking about when you said he needs to be a superhero. And I'm not sure he needs to be a superhero. I think he needs to be a superhero's mentor. Like, I really think that's cool. Where he's... Yeah, like he's a dude in a wheelchair or something that's just like, you're flying too close to the sun. or like in those, there are certain superheroes in like the Marvel verse, especially, where they're like the third and fourth generation of that superhero. Listen, like DC with Batman, they just never could figure out, what the fuck did we do? Did we kill off Bruce Wayne? Do we bring him back? Do we break his back? Do we give it to somebody else? And then we just keep putting him back in. Marvel has a whole string of people who were, in their 70s and 80s, and they were like numero uno. And now they're down to, to be like, Iron Man version 7. Right. So you got this, this old Tony Stark. Well, first of all, you got to get your facial hair under control. That's number one. But I would love to see Trejo, absolutely being a mentor.
the one time that it's been handed down, and now like someone's taken the hero's name, turned it to shit, and they're just doing a really bad job. And then here comes Danny.
Yeah.
Got some words for you. Gets them out of it.
He was apparently in the Flash TV show for 2 years. Interesting.
What? Huh.
That's what it said. 17, 18, and 19. Yeah, he plays Breacher, whoever that is.
I have no idea. I absolutely, any of that CW shit.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir there. I can't handle CW shows. It's too like overproduced, and the acting is so bad for something so produced.
They're horrible.
I know. It's something.
Did you see him on What We Do in the Shadows?
Oh, yeah. I love that show. I'm trying to think of who he is in that one.
He was at the trial. They had all these celebrities come in at the, the Vampire Council trial.
Yes.
Yeah, he's there with Tilda Swinton and shit. Yeah.
And Donald Logue.
And one of the guys is...
and Wesley Snipes even is in there.
Yeah. All the great vampires.
Yeah.
Dusk till dawn. Yeah. Oh man. Like I just am seeing all kinds of stuff that I just am like, I've seen that. Who the hell is he in that one? Especially the voice acting ones.
It's like an online museum, just going through this list. Can you imagine a Trejo museum? Just all the little facts, movie bits, and some props and things, and, you know, a wax dummy. Does he have a wax dummy?
I don't know.
For sure. After all the times they made props of his head, he definitely has a wax dummy somewhere.
He must.
Well, I mean, in the wax museum, they have that celebrity wax museum.
They should if they don't.
I feel like I saw something. It was a picture of him and his wax dummy. I can't say for sure. Maybe I just want to believe it really bad.
Yeah.
But absolutely that would be something. Our public television station, PBS affiliate, was having an auction, and they were auctioning off a life-size Deadpool statue. And the price had already gone way beyond anything I would pay for it. But I would sell everything in this house to get a very well done life-size statue of Danny Trejo. What more do you need? You know, what do you sleep on? What does it matter? Look at him. Look at him. He's magnificent. And he's mine.
Let's see here. How much is a Danny Trejo life-size cutout? It is. Of course, all the Dannys are Danny DeVito. Dang it. I'm sure there's one out here somewhere.
I mean, a life-size cutout of Danny DeVito. I mean, that'd be fun.
It would be fun, but...
So, story time, completely unrelated. So I used to have a roommate who every time you scare him, he screams like a bitch, and it's so funny. And so what I did was I got 2 life-size cutouts. I got one that's the Grim Reaper, that's a little spooky for Halloween, and I got one of Buddy the Elf. And so what I did was I put one in the bathroom and closed the door most of the way, the Grim Reaper one. And then I put Buddy the Elf, like right when you walk into his room, he's right there. So he came home one day and I just hear him go, ah! And he was like, did you fucking buy that just to scare me? And I was like, yep. And I was like, here it comes. Here it comes. He opened the bathroom door. Ah! And I was like, yes, mission complete. And then they both came tumbling down the stairs. Like, fuck you, Miles. But yep. So that's my story about cardboard cutouts.
That sounds like a good use of money.
Oh shit! You know what? I just had an idea.
What?
We need to get hold of his reps. We need to present this a weekly, and it could be a web series. It could be, you know, something on one of the channels that does shorts, you know, like IFC and stuff. Dinner with Danny. And each week is just a topic. And it's like Dinner with Andre, only you just, you know, you're all sitting eating and you just bring a topic up to Danny and let him wax eloquent his thoughts on it while you share a delicious meal. It could be 10 minutes. It could be a half hour.
I mean, you sound, you're saying this and it sounds a little glib, but I know you're like serious, but I would genuinely be interested in listening to what he has to say on any given subject.
I'm absolutely serious. It just hit me. Dinner with Danny. That would be, because he is the kind of guy who could help pull that off, right?
Yeah.
He would sit and just talk whatever is on his mind. And that's the other thing too. It would be one of those shows that people would flock to because he's never a dick about talking about things. He'll be real and honest, but even like the way he portrayed things in the book, that is actually how he talks about tough subjects. He doesn't get in there and like, rah, 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 worthless piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. He's pretty eloquent in explaining things, politely, civilly, right? And I think, I think that would be, I would fucking stop my day. Wait, stop. Dinner with Danny's on.
So if you want a life-size cutout of Danny Trejo, they are $70. And you have two choices if you want them life-size. You either have one in a black suit or one in a tuxedo.
Nice.
$70? Is it worth it? Yes.
Danny Trejo is James Bond.
Whoa. I love it.
I think they'd have a hard time selling that one with the accent and all the things,
not.
Yeah.
Shaken, not stirred.
Well, I mean, is it okay if I read just like a section of this?
How much of a section?
Like a little paragraph?
Sure.
Okay. So just a little background on this. He was in talks with Edward James Olmos about the movie American Me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Which I did not know this about that film. But after that film was made, a lot of people who worked on that film were murdered brutally.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, it's based on the real life story.
Right. Of the Mexican mafia.
Yeah. Literally the most powerful man running the Mexican mafia from prison.
Yeah. Who Danny knows or knew personally. And when he was when he talked to Edward about it, he read the script and he was like, hey, a lot of things about this don't sit well with me. Did you talk to Joe, Big Joe, who was the boss, right, of the mafia, who the movie was about? Did you talk to him about it? And he said Edward said yes, but he could tell he was lying. When Danny talked to Joe later, Joe was like, yeah, I refused to meet with him because I read the script and I didn't like it. So, and some of the issues with it that he brought up were that like there were a lot of untruths in it, right? And also a lot of things that were too true that the mafia didn't want getting out.
Right.
But the things that concerned him more were the things that were not true that would terribly, terribly offend the mafia. Mm-hmm. So his first meeting, he met with Olmos and Olmos dressed up. Danny says like a cholo, which unsettled him a little bit. Right. But he was conflicted because Edward James Olmos is this like legend in the Hispanic acting community. Right. So he's like, this guy's a hero for Hispanic actors, but I just, this doesn't sit well with me, man. So, he met him again to talk about it again. He didn't do American Me. He did another Mexican mafia movie that came out later, which was originally called Blood In, Blood Out, but they retitled it to something, that Joe, the mafia boss, was okay with. He called it The Cute One. When Danny talked to him about it. But even
I've seen Blood In and Blood Out. I think I might have seen that one.
They later called it something else. I can't remember exactly what. It's not important. But anyway, so he's talking about what he's trying to figure out. Like he was trying to figure out within him what bothered him so much about Edward James Olmos dressing up like a cholo. So he said, to me, this is from the book. To me, real Mexicans, whites, and blacks were the kind of men who worked hard and took their kids to Little League practice when they got home. Perhaps I was overreacting. After all, I was already interested in taking the part of Geronimo in Blood In, Blood Out. another prison gang movie where we'd all be decked out as cholos. But these are the feelings I was feeling, for better or worse. I guess you could also argue that I myself was playing by gang rules in arguing against the liberties almost took with the script, but the untruths made me deeply uncomfortable. I'd watched plenty of movies about organized crime, but I never knew the players personally before, and I knew too much to keep my mouth shut. I didn't want to play the middleman, but I smelled danger. Yeah.
Well, and
That's
I get
intense.
it. I tell
Right?
you what, yeah. I've seen American Me, and when I first, because I love Edward James Olmos as well, and when I saw that movie, I was, for a movie that's not a horror movie, I'd never been so fucking horrified.
Well,
Because
yeah.
it is, and the true and not true bit kind of, it doesn't even matter to a point when, at its core, right, the actions in the environment have the truth. I mean, there's just you can't talk about any mafia anywhere and not have body parts, brutal murders, just, random crazy ass shit in prison, out of prison. You just watch The Godfather. It's not like that was all fanciful. That shit's been going on since way back. The Greeks, they understood life is a little dull. So
Yeah.
we're going to give some people some power, and then we're going to fuck with them relentlessly.
Well,
In really bad ways.
later in the story, he says that Joe called him from prison to ask him if he was going to do that movie, because he already knew that Danny had met with Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
From prison. Joe knows everything, right? And Danny goes, "No, I'm not going to do that one, but I'm doing the other one." And that was when Joe was like, "Oh, that's the cute one." And Danny was like, "But I know that there are a lot of, people who are working on the one with Edward James Olmos. I mean, like the actors and the crew, are they going to be okay?" And Joe was like, "Yeah, they're just doing it for a paycheck." But it was the consultants and the, producers and, other people who worked, ideas wise on that film. He said there were like at least a dozen people who, after that film came out, were executed.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, so rule number 1, don't. We're gonna make this movie about ex-mafia, Mexican mafia, Italian mafia. Just you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for the next train.
Yeah.
Oh,
the main difference was that Blood In, Blood Out was fictional. Like, it didn't have any real people in it. It was just kind of generically a movie about the Mexican mafia.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So with that, let's get to an important question. Would you or would you not? You're walking down the street and there it is. One of his restaurants, Trejo Tacos.
Yes.
Are you going?
Yep, absolutely. I just ate. I'm going in. I'm so full that it hurts. I'm going in.
I could have a taco in each hand from the place I just came from, and they would hit the sidewalk, and I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know how there's people that do like pancake art where they like make faces of characters and stuff with different dye? I wonder if he does that on tortillas with his face.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my God. And he could certainly get one made, a tortilla press. With
that just kind of like
face on
just
it.
a mustache. That would be amazing. I don't think he's that egotistical, though.
No, I don't think so.
You know what? So we said earlier he's supplanting, or has already supplanted, Bruce Campbell as the king of B movies. Now, for the longest time, Tom Selleck was the mustache, and then Sam Elliott still is the mustache. But I'm going to say, Danny Trejo, he is the new mustache.
Absolutely.
Because
it's a little thin on the book, actually.
It doesn't matter. We've seen it. We've seen it with the big, getting into like a Fu Manchu kind of thing. We've seen it where it's been freshly shaved, right? He pulls off the mustache shadow to the full blown you just like,
Fair.
castaway type thing. He wears it fucking wonderfully. Because we've seen some impressive mustaches. We're like, that's a cool mustache, but it looks like absolute hell on that person, right? He can pull it off.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild.
Well, let's write a movie. Let's write a movie right now. Okay. There's a movie starring Danny Trejo as Danny Trejo, but his mustache has a personality.
Yes.
Okay.
His
What's the
mustache
plot of this
talks
movie?
to him.
Yes. It crawls off his face and like solves crimes or something.
Let the mustache do the talking.
Anyway, yep. That was just my brilliant idea. I know. I'm a genius. They say I'm the greatest mind of my generation.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah. God, you know what could be like a Ratatouille situation? The mustache.
Yeah.
Danny's like, oh man, that's terrible. I better get out of here. Don't you dare. As the mustache speaks to him in his head. Get moving. You see him trying to fight it. The mustache is moving him like a fucked up marionette. Get in there and kick his ass, you pussy.
No, they're like a crime solving duo, right? The mustache found him when he was a child. And crawled onto his face as a 5-year-old.
And launched him into stardom.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. There is so much about this man that you can, and I mean, we're having fun with some of it, but I am dead serious about Dinner with Danny. And I think even this idea is what makes it like tangible.
Danny and the stash.
Yeah. See, I mean, if you had solid thing put together and went to him, he would be for it. Right. He just,
100%.
yeah. And I think that just, I mean, it's, kind of like the best way to wrap it up about him is I think people gravitate to him because I get the sense that he is just like one of the funnest human beings to hang out with, but you also know he's not a dick, like in disguise. He'll call you on your shit. He'll say it straight because he just, to live his life and get where he is, you just don't have time for the bullshit. You don't have time to play the game. It's like, it's my terms or no terms,
Yeah, you definitely couldn't like drink a 40 around him. He'd be like, that's ruining your life, right? Like,
Right.
I feel like he'd be a little freaky.
There's better ways, man. There's better ways.
Well, he's done this, sponsor thing long enough that he's like, if someone doesn't want to change, I can't make them change.
Right.
Right. He's like, so I don't waste time on people who I'm like, hey, that's going to send you to jail. You keep going down this road, you're going to end up dead or in jail or both.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, I know. And keep doing it. He's like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do. So
I tried.
I'll move on to someone who listens.
Except for the kid on the set that he never found.
Well,
I don't mean to pick on that. That's just so fucking funny. That actually sounds like it was written in for a fucking comedy part in a movie. Never did find that kid.
The kid and that boxer have like come together and they're plotting the death of Danny Trejo.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
what the mustache is about. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, God. Oh, Danny Trejo, B-movie legend. I don't even want to say B-movie legend because he's been in a bunch of A movies, just not as the lead, like in Heat. That was not an independent film.
no.
No, that was a high budget blockbuster. Well, it wasn't really a blockbuster. Should have been. I mean, it did okay. But this guy, oh man. May we all raise an imaginary glass. May we all one day have the opportunity to just bump into him on the street. I think that would make my day. What happened to you today? Oh, I was wishing where I was going and I got shoulder checked by Danny Trejo. I'm ready to just die now.
I told him I wouldn't text him, but I'm going to text him. What do you think I should say? Oh my God.
You just spam it with pictures of mustaches.
Oh, man. So, any closing thoughts on Danny here?
Yeah,
What
I
do
have
you got?
some. So, first of all, I just wanted to say 425 acting credits on IMDb.
Got them all totaled, huh?
Crap.
wild, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Also, I think he's a great example of someone like, I know there's a lot of people out there struggling with their, life and what's going on and getting shit together. Learn a little bit about him, like do some research. He's very open with his past and everything that he's done. And, I think he's a really great example. And it's why so many people do listen to him who are on, their path to sobriety or, just making themselves into a better person. Because he literally went from the worst you can possibly be, right? Just next door to death row, basically, to someone who turned it around and spends their lives helping people. And if someone like that can do that, can change themselves and make themselves better, then I think anybody can if they really want to. And also just reiterating his philosophy, everything good that happens when you are doing good. Right?
That's true.
Excellent.
Miles,
Yeah.
what do you have to set the sun on this tribute to the man?
He's pretty much the best dude in the world. As we have covered, he does the right thing under every circumstance. He seems to have his life on lock. He's all about raising kids and showing examples of this is good, this is bad. And you don't get that a lot among the people who are high up in the entertainment industry, are not concerned with doing the right thing and not concerned with doing anything good for anybody except themselves.
Right.
And the fact that this dude strode right into their office and was like, hey, by the way, I'm the greatest. And you can recognize that. Have you seen this face? Look at this mustache. I am the greatest. And they're like, you know what? You are the greatest. So yeah, he is a sterling example of a human being. And the fact that he gets the recognition that he deserves it's a love story. This has been a love letter to Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
I both of those come together perfectly. I share both of those sentiments equally. It's, like I said, he's the ultimate second act example and taking it to heart. I think to add on to both of those, what you both said, he absolutely owns everything he's done. He's not made excuses for anything. He's taken full responsibility, which in and of itself is a rare quality in human beings, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age. But then as you get into Hollywood, a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their actions, or they do so after they've been caught and they have to do a media blitz public thing. Let's go all the way back to the Weinstein things and all those people, the Me Too people getting called out. They talk about it, but they're like, oh, I didn't mean it. Danny's just like, yep, that was me. It's just, no bullshit. And yeah, I think he's just such a cool guy. He's on the top list of people I would love to sit and chat with, not industry related, not hit him up for a job or, to get him in a project or something, just to sit and chill with the dude. Just a genuine person. I like, iPad flinched for a second. Yeah, I don't know. Danny, if you ever hear this and you made it this far into this fucking thing, we love you because you are just awesome, man. And I think a shining example of a lot of people. So let's take real quick Robert Downey Jr., right? Doesn't like talking about his convictions, even though it was just drug stuff, right? Trejo had convictions that were decidedly not jaywalking and, right, too many misdemeanor possession charges. And he's lightly hinted at, kind of like the whole Al Capone thing. Yeah, I was in prison, but that's what they got me on, right? Leave it at that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's what you can take any shit that you've done, turn it around. And when you do something like what he's done and do good and help people and try to just be the opposite of all that, it doesn't undo the damage. And he even says that, nothing I do is going to undo what I've done, but, this is my penance. This is my payback. And yeah, I think we're all in agreement. He's the king. Long
Yeah.
live the king.
Here's to Danny. Proverbial glasses again.
Yeah.
Cling. Absolutely.
He's got over 20 films in like
In
announced pre-production,
Yep.
post-production. The one I'm looking forward to the most, Machete Kills in Space.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We should have a watch party.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Once Robert Rodriguez gets that money together, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, shit. Okay. B-siders. We have been talking about the magnificent Danny Trejo with another magnificent person, Mr. Miles Trout.
Oh,
And-
thanks.
Oh, we love having you on, man. We love talking with you. And we love being on your show. It's, just one of those things. It's fun. Listen to, we'll have links to his stuff. High on Horror. Toast of the Realms is coming back. So do you still have stuff up for that?
Yeah, do
I
your
have old
plugs,
stuff.
man.
Oh, okay. I'll do some plugs. Like he just said, check out High on Horror. That's how you have to say it, unfortunately. So, yeah, we talk about all things horror movies on that one, and it's a real good time. We were in like the top rankings there for a hot minute, so we're doing something right. And then there's the Disc Dump, where you can hear Jim and Danny talking about, what were we talking about? Like Gentleman Broncos.
Yes.
That's a classic. I feel like you did a Masters of Horror with me. I feel like that's when we met.
We did a
Yes, we
Masters
did.
of
We
Horror.
talked about some Masters of Horror shows.
And I think we talked about Fear and Loathing also one time.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course
Yeah.
we did. Yeah,
Yes.
can't miss that one. Awesome. So yeah, go and check that show out. And Toast of the Realms, we play D&D, and maybe you guys will be on that someday. Depends.
That
on
would be
the
super fun.
trajectory.
There we go.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Heck yeah. So that's all things Miles.
Awesome. Thanks, Miles. Thanks for coming on the show and talking about Danny with us.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a joy.
All right, listeners. That comes or brings us. God, we should script these.
This
things.
is great radio.
It
Keep
is.
going.
Yeah.
Best radio ever. Brings us to the end of our tribute to Danny Trejo. We hope you've enjoyed it. More importantly, we hope you enjoy his work and stuff. Grab his book. It's a wonderful read. Takes you into him. And who knows? You might get to, meet some cool people like Miles and do these little round robins all on your own. So thank you, Miles, for being on the show and talking about this. I know it's been a few weeks in planning, but here we are. So thank you so much for giving us your time, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And listeners, Danny Trejo has put out his autobiography, which I've read a little bit of for the show and mentioned some of the stories in it. I'm almost through it, and it's very good. And I can't imagine that it suddenly turns bad toward the end. So go
Nice.
get it. It's really good. It's just called Trejo.
All right. Well, with that, the sun sets, and I think we're out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
And that was our fun talk with Mr. Miles Trout once again.
We've never had him on the show before.
We talked on his show though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had him on here. This is number 4, because when we went through the list, we did 3 with him on his show. We were talking.
Yeah,
about
I've talked to him a bunch of times.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the 4th time talking with him, and the first time on our show. But yeah, fun,
and hopefully the first of many.
I know a lot of good things came up. I don't know how many
so.
will be show related to this one, but I think other endeavors will be or would be really fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about just fun stuff that we all thought it would be cool to do together. But I mean, we could have him on our show to talk about other legends in film.
Oh yeah,
Miles is a very knowledgeable cinephile.
Yeah. I mean, that's what makes it fun. But also, you got to be careful about that, though. You can't have like a whole giant stack of people that, you throw tributes to, like bang, 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 bang. So it just sort of like wears off. It's like giving everybody an Oscar. Why wait for a year? You're just going to keep handing them out. Just show up on a production set. Here you guys go. All right.
You're silly.
No, I mean, we'll have more. This just kind of like came, it was time. It just jumped out that it was time. So anyway, let's get back to that. Trejo Tribute. Did you have fun?
I did.
How could you not? I had fun too. I mean, it just, talking about him in just his movies and just remembering all the little bit pieces that never came up, all the little background bits and things seeing him in. I mean, the guy certainly has earned why we in our teeny tiny podcast are doing a Trejo tribute, and he's not like on A&E or like A&E, salutes Danny Trejo or some big thing. You know
I
what
know
mean?
that would be cool. I mean, looking at his IMDb, it does sound like some things were kind of done, but nothing that ever crossed our radar. And we're huge Danny Trejo fans, so how did that not?
Because they probably weren't very big, and I think they were more just like topical things for like the moment. I mean, just like an in-depth, like kind of like we presented it. I mean, he is like the Horatio Alger Hollywood story, right? There's a few of them out there, but he's one of them. Came from as far away from Hollywood life as you could get, and is just stomping it now.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's really cool. Anyway,
and getting to talk about it with a friend was super awesome.
I know, and yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Who else do we want to elevate to deity status?
Well, we'll think about it. We don't
It'll
have to
pop
name names.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, it'll pop. It'll pop. Because we never actually really thought of doing it until we started talking to Miles about the Machete movie.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like all hit us. This seems right.
Yeah.
Tribute to this man. And so we did.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I'm not even going to say what I'm thinking. Anyway, let's move on. Happy thoughts.
Did you know that you can find all of our stuff on our website?
That would be lordsofmisrulproductions.com.
Wow, you're so knowledgeable.
I am. I studied.
What can you find on there?
You can find links to all of our social media stuff. You can find the podcast episodes. You can find our blog, which is a few things. You can find links to like BF McGillicuddy, are seemingly never, ever going to find the sunset film projects. Constantly stuck in limbo. For the podcast, all the platforms that we are on, links to subscribe to them or get to them anyway, and our emails that you can reach out to us on if you have questions about the podcast or movies. Anything else, I believe.
I think you covered pretty much all. I mean, we have merch store and Patreon.
Yep. Link to our Patreon, link to the merch store. The BF or the YouTube link is to BF McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
Because all that are Bravo for the B-side YouTube is basically just this podcast in audio or video format. There's no video. But, whatever, to make that one or two people happy, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if, YouTube costs money.
Yeah.
To put this up there, we would not be doing it.
No.
Everything else costs enough.
Well.
Yeah. So we're going to be hitting some more movies. Hopefully an uptick. We had kind of a downward, like the downward slope of the roller coaster before we got to this episode. We didn't have a lot of luck with some of our viewing choices.
Oh.
Well,
that'll happen.
Yeah. But I think the ones coming up are good.
I think so.
They looked good. So yeah, we'll keep moving on those.
All right. Well.
And we mentioned it, but I'm going to say it again. Check the show notes because links to Miles's stuff will be there, and we encourage you to give him a listen if you haven't already.
Indeed.
This is fun stuff. All right.
Well, wait, what?
No, nothing. Are we heading out?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
B-siders. Until then, this is Jim.
This is Danny.
We'll talk to you soon.
Toodles.